What's up, everybody? It is Thursday night. This is the Fantasy and Frames Draft Show. I'm your host, Stacey Perez. Everybody is here in the house with us, guys. We are going to be drafting a Fantasy Pros team tonight. If you're ready, we're ready. Let's go. All right, well, that was my fault for hitting the background button instead of the song.
The overlay was ready to just...
It really was. That overlay was like ready to go. Gosh, guys. What's up, everybody? Guys, Keith will be here momentarily. We're, like I said, going to be doing this Fantasy Pros draft here in just a few minutes. We've got 1 minute, 17 seconds before we get the number one pick overall. If you are a listener, a watcher of our show, you will not recognize actually somebody up here in the corner. We have a guest with us on tonight. He is the crowns part of the Red Crayons. Welcome, Jim Bednar, making your podcast debut. Hello, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
How are you doing over there?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm supposed to say something. My bad.
Yes. How is it in lovely Temecula, California?
I got caught up in the intro.
Oh yeah, so it's easy to get caught up in that. So tonight, Jim, Kev, and I are going to be drafting this Fantasy Pros draft. And as promised, my head might explode if we don't take a running back before round 12. Is that where you guys are planning on taking one, or are we just going to get one on waivers?
I mean, there's always a chance.
Like AJ Dillon will be out there. We're fine.
Yeah, Dillon will totally be out there.
None.
I'm going to throw this board on up here because we've got 5 seconds to go. Guys, this is on the FFPC site, so that means it is a 60-second clock, tight end premium. I will give you some more information on this draft as soon as we make our pick.
Are we going with it?
We are the Fargo Crowns tonight. Guys, do we have... It's 9 o'clock. I can say it. Do we have the balls to do what we've been talking about doing all week?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I mean, if you do, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on the 1s and 2s, so let's have some fun. You know what? We're a group of fun havers here. Let's just have some fun. Let's make this maybe not totally a vibes-based draft, but this is definitely a vibes-based 101.
Right.
Let's go.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Let's get crazy. Did we not take Christian McCaffrey? No, we didn't. We took Tyreek Hill here. We have some explanations as to why we did that. It's going to be a hot second before we draft again, so we can get into all that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Oh.
We're Doughboys taking Bijan. Maybe they didn't realize that we didn't take McCaffrey.
We are in a loose room.
Buckle up, everybody.
Guys, we are raining chaos on this Fantasy Pros.
Maybe it'll come all the way back.
Yeah, I mean, we could always take him in the second round. Like
that would be a Tyreek CMC start would be unique.
Oh my God! Oh, there he goes. I was gonna say if he comes all the way back, Mojo's ADP is gonna be crazy.
Wow.
Wow.
All right, guys. So like I said, this Fantasy Pros draft. It's the 350 buy-in. So it's a high stakes draft. Is $1 million to the prize, grand prize to the winner. Hopefully that's gonna be us. 20 rounds, tight end premium, full point PPR. You're going to start 1 quarterback, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, and then you got 2 flex spots. So you could do a lot of different things with your roster. We'll talk about that tonight.
Yeah.
Playoffs start week 15 through 17. Those are going to be a points-based championship round. And prizes go all the way up to the 1,000th place. So you can get actual cash prizes for this. So there's only 20,000 entries in this draft. So it is a little bit of a high dollar buy-in, but you make it up with the fact that there are a lot lower number of entries in this league.
There are some surprising names going off the board.
That's nuts. Did I just see Garrett Wilson? Holy guacamole.
That's what I was talking about. we're strap in, buckle up.
Oh my God. So can we get Mojo's at a baseball game? I don't even think we could get him to like phone in for this.
Man, I'm trying to figure out what's going on right now.
Wow. Okay, guys. So I'll just go ahead for the listeners. Those of you that are going to be listening to this as a podcast form and not watching. So we started off with Tyreek Hill, then Bijan, McCaffrey, Breece Hall. Garrett Wilson goes at 5. Pretty surprising, but maybe not. I mean, we did talk about something like this possibly happening earlier. Then we've got CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamar Chase goes 8th, followed up by Justin Jefferson, and then Puka Nacua still managing to hang on to his first round draft price is 10. So team 11 is on the clock.
I wonder
if
this isn't tight end premium or anything.
It is, yes.
It is
tight end premium. Okay. So it'll be 1.5 bonus for tight ends.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nobody taken in the first round is a surprise yet, just where they went. But we kind of, I mean, we kicked off it being different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did.
Which we should probably pay off with that explanation that we promised. But I don't know if you want to wait until we pick in the second to see if it.
I think we can go ahead and start kind of working our way there, and maybe kind of save what we're planning to do till we get to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants? So just to finish out the top, Saquon Barkley goes at the 11, followed by AJ Brown. On the turn, Kelsey goes to team 12, followed by Jonathan Taylor. So team 11 is double tapping at running back. That's a stack I've seen pretty frequently, is the Barkley Taylor stack. Have you guys been seeing that a lot?
Yeah, pretty frequent. Kelsey going as tight end ones. I mean, it's defensible. Like, I'm fine with it. But, I mean, yeah, like Jim said, everything in the first round is, like, fine, but it's just, it's like you threw it in a Yahtzee cup and just shaking it out and just tossing it because it is all over the place.
Well, I mean, Kevin kicked it off, right? It's vibes-based. This is a vibes-based first round for sure. That's pretty much how that looks.
Like, I would be ecstatic to get Justin Jefferson at 109.
Oh my God. Are you kidding? Yeah, I would freak out if I could get Jefferson. It was in the 9 spot. Because guys, remember, these are all like randomized draft orders too. So as soon as the draft fills, you know where you're going to be drafting. So we have actually known that we are going to have the number 1 pick for several days. So we've had a lot of time to kind of say, what is our strategy? What are we going to do? Take a look at some other drafts, see what's been going on. Take a look over at Fantasy Mojo, which is the number 1 ADP site for the FFPC. So if you are playing on the FFPC and not using Fantasy Mojo, you don't know what you're doing. So get on over there, get Fantasy Mojo, get signed up for it. That's just the nicest way to say it, man. Like
right off his website, the first word in fantasy football in parentheses, whatever that means.
Yeah. See? Second round, like I said, we've got Kelsey Taylor, Sam Laporta. My beloved Sam Laporta goes to team 10. Then we've got Gibbs, Kyron, Trey McBride goes to team 7 there. So team 6 is on the clock. So kind of, do you guys want to talk about like our thought process here in deciding to punt McCaffrey?
I mean, really, it was probably between the usual suspects. CMC on the other side of the running back age cliff. Those running backs don't exactly, it's never gradual with running backs. And as good as CMC is, that time has got to be coming. I don't know if the Niners are going to be as efficient as they were last year. Like last year was probably the nut run out of efficiency for that offense. Where look, we're already talking about Brandon Ayuk. He's going to have to kind of make it up in the regular season versus having those preseason weeks to kind of get up to speed because he really hasn't been practicing. So that was certainly up for consideration. And then we also, had CeeDee Lamb too, where CeeDee Lamb obviously has got to get paid, but that is something that could possibly linger. And that's all right. Well, I think we kind of know what we're doing here. Yeah, I think so.
All right. So Drake London goes to team 6. Dalton Kincaid goes to team 5. So Kincaid is the 4th tight end off the board here. This is pretty typical of FFPC drafts where you see these tight ends, these elite tight ends go in the second round. If not even the first, that's not unheard of either. If you're taking a look at Mojo's ADP specifically for the Fantasy Pros draft, and these are based on like the last couple days of Fantasy Pros drafts that have been going on. All 4 of these guys, second round ADP.
Yep. So there's a couple guys that stuck around that are still around that we never really discussed.
Yeah,
there goes one of them.
Marvin Harrison, Marvo goes to number 3. So we are on deck, guys.
Dude, that's crazy because that guy's now got a low-owned combo because McCaffrey fell to the 3. So that's kind of.
I mean, we were discussing a handful of guys here at this 2-3 turn, and it's looking like we probably. Do we want to go with? I'll wait till this pick is in here to throw out names, but we did talk about a certain kind of stack too.
Oh,
if we want to do that, or if we want to do what we're.
I want to wait until we're there because I think this. Yeah, there's a player that you wanted that might work, but then the other one that was kind of assumed doesn't, I think.
Hopefully this first. Okay, they took Cup.
Yeah.
So the 3 names are Waddle, Nico, and Deebo Samuel that we were talking about. We've got a decision between 2 of the 3. So. I'm totally good with all 3.
You guys want to weigh in? Rich, Erica, do you guys have any thoughts?
I do love Deebo. That's my one thought is just I love Deebo this year. My answer whenever everybody says anything about Ayuk, I'm like Deebo.
I would be okay, Jim. I know we talked about this earlier off the chat, so we may have to fill Kevin in the private chat. I would be okay doing what we talked about earlier.
I think it's in the queue.
That work.
So. Okay. I think that works right there.
I don't have it in the queue. It's not popping up for me. You could say it. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So I put Deebo and Waddle in.
Okay.
I think we all agree.
I'll grab Deebo now.
Okay.
And then I'm totally fine with Waddle if we want to just do that and get Hill and Waddle, or
so
if you wanted to go Nico to open up a quarterback too.
Mm-hmm.
And we could, there's an outside chance like another Houston receiver comes back later too. But
yeah, that's kind of why Nico was kind of out of it for me. Let's go with Waddle because of what we talked about, and then we can just hit that up and we can discuss that.
Let's, yeah. Totally on board.
I like it. I like that start.
All right, so now that we hooked up the rest of the room, the other thing about taking a wide receiver and passing on McCaffrey is that if you take McCaffrey, you're locked into 2 wide receivers, which we did anyway. But if a tight end had fallen, we kind of felt like that would give us the flexibility to take that. If we had just stayed with CMC, we didn't feel like we could take a tight end there. So that's really the other reason that we punted CMC.
Yeah. Structurally, that kind of puts us into like a locked in where we have to take positions and we're being more reactive instead of proactive with how we want to build this team. So, yeah, I do like that structurally. And then, obviously with 3 wide receivers, we're still open to anything that falls to us, anything that, may present itself. We were hoping like a Kincaid would drop by ADP. He probably should have, but look, Vibe Space, go get your guys. That's what people are going to do. So,
right.
That's why, ADP is a construct.
I'm sure, and I'm sure too, people would like Hill and Waddle on the same team in the same round is probably a weird way to look at it as well. But that was something else we talked through where if you've followed Kevin at all, you know that he thinks Waddle can do it even with Hill there. And if one of them doesn't, hopefully we can recover from blowing one of those picks.
Well,
but I think they both can, which is why we didn't go A-Chain.
Exactly.
A-Chain at that value.
Well, and a couple years ago, Jim, we did this. What was it, in the Checkered Flag or the Run to Daylight tournament? And
it was a Super Sunday, man. Okay. We had drafted Hill and Waddle on when Hill was still with Kansas City, and then he went to Miami, and we just got stuck with it, and it ended up being a tournament winning team.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna say, is it? Yeah, this one right here.
There you go.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, with Hill and Waddle, you're capturing over 50% of the passing game in Miami, which we know. Look, anytime you can back Mike McDaniel, and he's just an absolute wizard in scheming players to get open and just scheming an offense. So I'm more than willing to ride that train with not only Tyreek Hill, probably the best wide receiver in football, arguably, I'd say, but Jalen Waddle, who put up like 2.65 yards per route run as a number 2 wide receiver next to Hill. Like Waddle on like 3/4 of the teams in the NFL is a locked in number 1 wide receiver, and he just happens to be the 2 next to Hill.
So for the uneducated, what makes the FFPC like ADPs and drafts different than, your normal sleeper and all those other drafts?
So I'll take this one. So the FFPC is a big high stakes tournament platform. But they have all kinds of different drafts. You know that. I mean, we've done some of those drafts throughout the season, the $35 ones. We've even got some Dynasty on there. But basically, like any sort of draft you want to do, they have available. So they've got, like I said, they've got Dynasty, they've got Dynasty Best Ball, they've got all kinds of different best ball, whether it's a single standalone league or giant tournament. We're going to be doing one of those, I think, in a couple weeks also. Not here, on a different show. Sorry. And then they've got their main event, along with the FantasyPros tournaments, which are their biggest 2 tournaments that they do. Their scoring format is always the tight end premium, then PPR. And then it's always the 20 rounds. You do draft a kicker and a defense here in your managed leagues, because this one is going to be managed by us throughout the season. As far as ADP goes, Mojo's the place to go to find all that. His site's phenomenal. He's not only does he have like the ADP there, he's got a stack finder tool. So if you want to know how common is a Hill, Debo, Waddle start, you can go look that up, in this tournament. So it definitely gives you an edge to know kind of, okay, if I want to put together something unique, how unique really is it, or how many other people are thinking along the same lines that I'm thinking.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's like skin in the game too, because obviously Sleeper and Yahoo and ESPN and all that stuff's primarily influenced on, you get just a gigantic amount of people. And you can pretty much, with as big of a sample size, get about to, a pretty efficient ADP, but every single one of these drafts has skin in the game. So I would trust that more. I reference that and, Underdog, just because all those drafts people are putting money on the line with that. Yeah. So that's very efficient ADP. And I would say FFPC is very close to that. And I'd say that's actually more reactive also to things that happen. Like we had the Jahan Dotson trade today. And I would say it's probably pretty likely that Jahan Dotson may not be drafted in this, where he would have if that trade hadn't happened.
Yeah. Well, and I'm curious too, where is Devonta Smith going to go? You see AJ Brown, gosh, I can't talk tonight, getting pushed all the way down to the 12th spot, where normally he's going, 8, 9, 10. I mean, that was something Jim and we talked about earlier today, like who would we rather have if we're in a spot where AJ Brown would have fallen? Is he somebody that we want to look at now? Who would we put there instead of AJ Brown? And Garrett Wilson was a name that we had talked about. To see him go with the 5 as the second tight end or the second receiver off the board is wild. But I mean, he's not going to come back. So if Team 5 wants him, that's where you're going to have to take him.
That's another thing that's probably, I guess, different about the FFPC is a lot of guys come in, like we're only going to have 2 teams in Fantasy Pros in this tournament. So it's kind of like, well, we're going to, doesn't matter where our draft spot is, damn ADP. It's a construct, right? We're going to take the guys that we want. That run sucked just now. Yeah, I knew it was coming, but I still have my fingers crossed. But there's people in here that they'll draft 40 teams, and those people will take CMC every time at the 101 because they're just going to build the same teams till it rolls out, grab value. Occasionally they'll flag plant players, but like honestly, taking Garrett Wilson at 5, I'm willing to bet he's not going to have a lot of teams either. Back to your point about where you take people. So I guess that's a different thing about like the FFPC and other places too, is there's actually less flag planting. It's just not evident in this draft.
Right.
Oh, I'm like,
oh, dude. So
in my brain, I'm like one time right now.
Oh,
that's all right.
Damn it. Yeah,
So guys,
that would have been it.
So we're in the 4th round now, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tight ends off the board. So everybody from Kelsey all the way down to Kyle Pitts, Evan Ingram have been taken. Let's see. Yeah, Ingram usually goes in the 4th, Pitts in the 4th. So this is pretty right on with that ADP about where these guys are falling in this particular contest.
Yeah, but the way it's breaking is it's setting us right up for disappointment.
It is, yeah. So we're at a 3 receiver start right now. Remember, you can only start 2. We only have to start 2, but there are 2 flex spots available as well. So
Kevin, are you tied to that in the queue?
I'm fine with that. I'm
me.
fine with that, and I would say probably another wide receiver because there's two guys that stick out big time.
I kind of want to.
You know what I want to do? I just put what I want to do in the queue.
Oh, me too. I think we did it at the same time, and it didn't do shit.
For those of you that don't know, Jim and I play a lot of our high stakes together. Probably all of our high stakes teams, right?
I cheat. I have a few with my brother, or I have one with my brother.
So unacceptable.
Okay, I'm glad that decision was made. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to. I'm sorry if that's
totally good with both of those receivers, by the way.
We're gonna push it like salt and pepper now?
Do we want to talk about anything else? I'm good with that too. I think we should do that. That's fun.
Do we want to start 5? Do we want to throw something else in there as far as like I'm looking at.
No, it's not worth it if you're looking at the.
Yeah, it's not worth it at quarterback. It's not worth it at running back.
No.
You want to just go those 2?
Well, take the top one. I don't care which one you take first. Take one of them, and then we have time to make another pick.
All right, I'm taking Tank Dell.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I'm like sitting here on edge the whole time, just listening.
Right?
Oh, sorry, guys.
We don't know what's going on.
The problem is if we're passing on one guy, we're talking about pushing the others, and even though it's 24 picks, it's tough. I don't.
Yeah.
That last. Do you think that last one comes back?
I'm hoping. That's like the hope upon hopes.
If
not,
do we want to just take the top name? I know it's 5 and we can only start 4, but look, the fragility, we're gonna end up having to probably start him or have a decision to start him.
You don't have to sell me on him, man. I think he is go ahead. Just
Stacy.
Are you the receiver or the tight end? You're talking about the receiver, right?
Receiver, yeah.
Gross, but yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
What?
I don't think our tight end options come back to us, but we have 6 seconds left. So So look at us. So guys, we are right now, for those of you who are not watching, we are the only straight receiver start on this board. So we are at 5 receivers now. We've got Hill, Debo Samuel, Jalen Waddle, Tank Dell, and Rashee Rice here. So everybody else is kind of diversifying a little bit, but we're just sucking up all the receiver value in this draft. Yeah, so if you want a receiver, too bad, because we have them.
Like, you can make the case for Tank Dell. If he hadn't gotten hurt, Tank Dell would probably be a middle of the second round wide receiver. With a lot of the issues with Rashee Rice off the field, if you take that out of the equation, he's probably a 2-3 turn guy too. So
not that anybody obviously gets the opportunity to hear me wax poetic about wide receivers, because it's the first thing I've ever done. But Rashee Rice was going in the second round before that happened. To your point, though.
Yeah, I got him in the 10th round in May.
Yeah, it was. I think Stacey and I were taking him every, 8th round, we'll just grab him. And after he fell so far, the only reason he isn't going back up is because of Worthy, right? But he's a rookie. He's going to pull his hamstring just like John Ross, just like every other fast dude. So, I mean, he could be right back to where he was.
35. Like, his peripherals have to come down at some point. They already started a little bit, but look, I mean, he balled out in the playoffs, and that's great. But you got to figure it's going to be like a Lakers thing where maybe you're not playing him at like 80-85% of the routes. You're probably playing him more 65% or so of the routes. So you're probably not getting that full-on ceiling of Travis Kelce. Other people have to take advantage. I just want to see where Rashee Rice's ADOT go up, because for him to be like a 5-6 yard ADOT is pretty egregious. If he can get up to like where like Amon-Ra St. Brown is, because of all those first round wide receivers, he has the lowest ADOT almost by far, and that's only at like 9 yards. If Rashee Rice can get to like 8-9 yards and then add some touchdown equity to that, that's looking great.
So Rashee Rice has been going in the 4th round of these drafts. So, I mean, we're in the turn. So really we could have made that happen. We could have swapped him. It really wouldn't matter. But, for ADP purposes, we pushed him a smidge. To answer some questions in the chat over here, Sean wants to know, are we splitting in Vegas? Yes. Jim and I will be in Vegas Thursday, Friday. We are drafting. So if you are drafting in Vegas, on those days, please come say hi. Unless you're in our draft, and then we don't want to talk to you until it's over.
Well, no, you can say speak up.
I'm just kidding. Please come say hello. And Anne really likes all of our receivers. She thinks it's kind of ballsy. I do too, Anne. I do too. What's up, Angie?
What's the old Sean Siegel tenet? Is you for zero RB is you want to make sure you leave your draft with 5 to 6 top 15 wide receivers.
Yep.
You can't. You know how difficult that is to do with this ADP, like the last like 2-3 years. It's so difficult to do that. So I think we've got a good shot at doing that.
I think so. I agree. Jim, you've got a fan in the chat over here. May or may not be related. Who knows?
Thanks, Tim.
Coming up on the end. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Erica. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you guys like having the one spot in a draft like this?
No. No, I don't.
I would much rather have like 4 through 6. That's like my sweet spot, where I love how my drafts go there. But like 1 is scary. And then the turn, 11 and 12 are scary too, just because.
But even with that, and it's funny. I heard somebody saying that the 12 is harder. It is to start, but once you get to the middle rounds, I like the end of the board a lot better.
Yeah.
Kind of as you can see, because we've reached for we moved not egregiously, I don't think, but like Waddle and Dell were reaches, and then. Like, look at this is gonna sound so dumb because we reached for Hill, but look at team 5 and 6, or sorry, team 6 who got CeeDee Lamb at 6. Like, it feels better when you're in the middle and you're like, oh, here came Lamb. We could have had him, but it's better to get him to fall at 6 than to reach for him at 1. And I can't explain the psyche of that, but it's true. Like,
it is, because then you're going to get to do a lot of different things. Like, how many Lamb, Drake London teams are there out there? I doubt there's that many.
With Andrews and Lamar.
Yeah, with all that. So if you're normally taking CeeDee Lamb at the 2 or 3, you don't have that opportunity.
Or team 3, how many CMC Harrison teams are there? Harrison A-chain teams? Yeah. Like they're like we might have just given away that just by not taking CMC.
You could get that though. You could get that at the 101. McCaffrey A-chain is pretty popular, but throwing Harrison in there is definitely the big differentiator in that.
I don't remember ADP from when the tournament started. I think Harrison started further on up earlier in the second though.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the ADP I'm looking at is literally just from August 20th to today. So just the last 3 days.
Oh, we should. I guess if you're looking at that, I don't need to. I can go find out. Hang on.
Yeah, I've got that pulled up. I figured if you guys are driving the board and I'm just doing the board, like I can handle the mojo. See, this is the nice thing about drafting teams with a group is that, you can just split the work up.
There you go.
Exactly. All right. So just to kind of catch everybody up with the draft, right now we're going into round 6 off the board. I forgot where I ended. I think it was around round 4. So after our Tank Dell pick going to 5, we took Rashee Rice, Higgins, Cooper, Diggs, Kenneth Walker, Lamar Jackson goes to team 6. Rashad White, Anthony Richardson, Kamara, Zay Flowers, McLaurin, and Mixon end up the 5th round. Team 12 then went double tap on running back and took James Conner. Then we've got Godwin, Ferguson, George Pickens to team 9, and team 8 just took Aaron Jones as their 3rd running back. They've got Kyron Williams, James Cook, and Aaron Jones. If you are in this draft and you're listening, show yourself in the chat, please. We would like to talk to you.
You are legally obligated to reveal yourself.
And I'm a lawyer, so I can tell you that would stand up in a court of law, 100%. But yeah, we want to chat with you if you happen to be checking us out tonight. And for those of you that are watching and hanging out in the chat, thank you so much. If you are enjoying this draft and all of our shows here on Fantasy Frames, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can get all the notifications of when we are live. And get all of our podcasts afterwards. If you can't watch us live, you can get those on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Those are going to be available with, probably like an hour or so after we wrap.
I did put a player in the queue. I'm sweating one of the picks coming up here for that particular pick.
Oh, that's fun. I couldn't dig it.
That is, and
that's you knew I would like that.
That is why I drafted the team, because I would never own one share of that player. But I appreciate the strategy of it, but I never do it.
This is the nice thing about also drafting with teammates is that you get different perspectives on players and draft strategy and things like that, So it's always fun. And then I think it helps to kind of diversify your teams because you're not doing the exact same thing every single time. If you're compromising. Anne has a comment for us. She was late popping in, but she has the 1-on-1 in her draft tomorrow, and she didn't want CMC, and we didn't either. Have we gone down this road before, and how did the draft turn out? I don't think that we have had the 1-0. I know we've only done one other Fantasy Pros, but I know we didn't have the 1-on-1 there. But I'm trying to think of anything kind of similar to this. I don't think we've had the 101 really anywhere, have we?
We never get the 101. No. We're lucky if we get the 12 every once in a while. I know people don't like it, but no, we're usually, most of our draft spots are between, every once in a while we get a 3, most of them are between 5 and 8. I don't know. So we're uncomfortable here, everybody.
This is awkward. This is feeling.
Devontae got pushed up. That's kind of a buzzkill.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Dude, I'm sorry. That was your sleeper in round 12.
That was I was hoping we could get maybe him to come back.
Devontae Williams just went around. I'm so sorry. Hold the phone. Where is he? I gotta look at here.
So we just gotta dodge this one pick. There's one pick that I think we're running to the podium for.
It's about around early, Stacy. I think both
vibes draft, guys. This is a vibes draft. He's been going in round 7 the last 3 days. Yeah. He's been going in round 7.
I mean, it's not. It's
crazy.
If you want a running back and you're looking at our team, that's the right pick. We just got paid, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go.
We got to take Mr. Brock Allen Bowers, right?
Yep.
Do it. Where's Keith?
Well, we can sit on it for a
Keith
second.
So excited.
That's right. Move,
Where is Keith tonight?
Keith is in traffic and he is not going to make it. He sent me a text. He's going to try his best to jump on maybe towards the end. Keith, we miss you. If you're watching, please come and join us.
So I've got that pick in. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No.
So I've got that pick. I figured I'd sit on it while we give us extra time to think about the next pick.
Mm-hmm.
Was your trepidation on the other guy non-tight end in the queue?
Mine? No, I don't want, like the one I don't want. Yeah, that's him. I don't.
Okay.
So if we take him here, I get it, and I think it's fine. It's a fine spot to do it, and he works for the team. I don't feel the same way about him as I think there's 2 more quarterbacks after him. One fits the team, one doesn't. I'll put it that way. I'm sorry, I just spilled the beans, but whatever.
Are we do we want to get a quarterback here? Is that?
I'm
fine with that.
Or you just want to double tap tight end? You could do that too. That's the thought. No, you don't want to do that. Nobody.
If we're using our flexes as for wide receivers,
We don't need to.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then if we're not going to give me a wide receiver, which is all I'm going to ask for, then a quarterback is probably the way to go.
I mean, who would be the wide receiver?
Yeah.
KSN.
Yeah.
But I have him in. It's fine. Take the quarterback. It's the right move.
Stacy.
I love me some CJ Stroud, so do it. Yeah, pull that trigger.
I apologize. I knew it didn't take any discussion for Stacy to want to take CJ Stroud.
It did not. No, I would have smashed that as hard as I would smash Tank Dell. Boom, take it.
Wasn't that your 101 and Scott Fish?
Yeah, my 104 was CJ Stroud. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I mean, I get it because, I think structurally it makes a lot of sense. I understand, player takes, and I get that too. It was just very, I just don't know because once we get deeper in, I don't know if I would feel as good about almost any other quarterback to where I would only want to take one. I think Kyler's going, and Kyler and Burrow will probably go, and maybe even Love or Dak as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could probably swing the Jaden Daniels too and Caleb and probably be fine, but we don't have anything tied to either of those. And then we're into that Purdy Tua where we're probably taking both in there. That would probably be like the line of demarcation where you feel comfortable because we're drafting CJ Stroud. We're not drafting another quarterback.
Yeah. So this is, kind of when you've got to like get out of the best ball brain that we've all been kind of like sucked into for the last few months. Right. And now that we're, the redrafts are coming out hard and everybody's drafting those, like we don't need to take more than one, quarterback normally. Right. Unless we're going to punt it really far down the board. So, just kind of something to think about, like, do we want to take up that spot with another quarterback, or do we want to, push that to a skill player when we're always going to start CJ Stroud, except for week 14 that he has to buy?
Yes. And that's great too, because that's 14 weeks, 13. We don't have to worry about a quarterback
all day long.
So do you have waivers on this?
Yes. So, and it's a FAB based system for waivers. So you get $1,000 to start. And then if anybody doesn't know how FAB works, because I didn't know how FAB worked my first year doing high stakes, which I probably should have known. But basically you get $1,000, whatever dollar amount in your league, but in this league it's $1,000. So I'm going to use that. So you get $1,000, and every week when waivers run, you go in and you put bids on players that you want to have on your team. You've got to, obviously with waivers, you got to drop somebody as well. But there's even a strategy when it comes to, FAB. How much do I bid on a player? What percentage of, my total do I spend on a certain player? There's even, theories out there about, ending your bid in a odd or even number that, makes you more likely to get that player. So a lot of strategy goes into the waivers when you're using a FAB system. But now that I understand it and I know how to use it, I can't stand leagues that don't do anything or that do things other than FAB. If it's just like the, a system where it's like, worst of first, gets it. I can't even deal with that anymore. I have a home league that refuses to change to FAB, and it makes me insane every single week.
Yeah. Remember the great Elijah Mitchell FAB wars of 2021?
I repressed those memories, Kevin.
I remember being like, oh, I got him. I put 855 on him. Nope. Yeah. Went 980.
Oh, what year is it? Tariq Cohen went for 990 and a bunch of 999, 900 plus something after 1 week. And I mean, I think he was good for a couple more weeks.
Imagine being the person in like week 2 that spent $750 on, because they didn't get Puka Nacua, that spent on Tutu Atwell.
Yeah. There's always going to be somebody, like that first week that just absolutely blows like all their FAB on somebody. And that's always fun.
Yeah, did it on Kyron and Puka, you're in good shape. But
what's better, because you drop 900 on Puka, you could be like me and be like, I don't care about that flash in the pan, dude. I'm not.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
See him on everybody else's team, not mine.
Yeah. Well, I just remembered I had memories earlier today. I don't know what caused me to think about it, but of Isaiah Pacheco his first year in the league, and I 100 very clearly remember myself saying, like, on a show, like, why would anybody draft Isaiah Pacheco? He's an undrafted free agent. There's so many other guys there on that team. Oh, what an idiot. What an idiot.
I love going back and remembering our bad takes.
It is. Oh, all the bad takes. All my bad Jahan Dotson takes from last year, too. Those are going to live in infamy.
Yeah. It's all right. In every single league, like after like 2020, I bought Darius Slayton thinking he was like the next Odell Beckham.
Yep.
Those were fun times. Very humbling times, too.
Still got one more year to hope that Marvin Mims actually does something in the league.
If you're not going to say anything about it, I am. Last year on a show in the offseason, Stacy said, I believe in Marvin Mims, not for this year, but for next year, because next year, Russell Wilson won't be with the team. And the host laughed at her, like couldn't have shit on that take more. They're crazy. They paid so much money for him to be there. Sean, blah, 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 blah. And I wish I could remember. It's out there. It's the receipt is out there somewhere of Stacy saying Russell Wilson is not going to be with the Broncos anymore.
I wish I knew where it was. I don't even remember where it was.
For it, but I'm telling you all right now, it was definitely said.
Every once in a while, I'll get a good take. Every once in a while.
I added some names in the queue, by the way.
Oh, I see that. I like number 2. That's a big favorite of mine. For reasons we don't know. All right, guys. So just to update everybody, because we've got a minute before we're gonna draft. So where did we end? We ended with, I think, Team 6 taking Montgomery. All right, so Team 5 in the middle of the 6th round goes Ridley, Javonte Williams, and then Christian Kirk. Najee Harris goes. We took Brock Bowers in the 6th round. 7th round we go Stroud. Njoku goes right after that. Ramondre Stevenson, Keenan Allen, Chase Brown, Deontay Johnson, Jaden Reed. Then we've got 2 tight ends, Goddard and Freiermuth, Mostert, DeAndre Swift, Lad McConkey going at the 12. Jonathan Brooks goes there. Kyler Murray, Roma Dunze, JSN in the 8th. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry, Jim.
I don't want to.
He wasn't going to come back.
Yeah, it was a pipe dream. I don't want to lust over another team that's not ours, but just think if Team 7 hadn't taken the anchor that is Rachaad White.
Yeah.
Like just roster anchor clogging up everything.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree.
Yeah, so Team 7's got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Trey McBride in the 2nd, Malik Neighbors, Devonta Smith. That in the 5th is where they took Rachaad White. Then they've got Worthy and Jaden Reed. That's a nice team. And they're on the clock right now. So it's Loco Dom. I don't think that Loco Dom is the Dom from Go Bills, just as like a different name. But if it is, that'd be really cool.
He is the only name I recognize in this room. I've seen him he's the one I was talking about that I've seen in other drafts.
Okay.
And he's also a good example of what we were talking about of drafting from the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where he can grab what's falling or he can take what's nice. And agreed, I'm not a big Rachaad White fan either, but I don't think it's killed the rest of his team.
No, I mean he was just super inefficient. I mean he got the volume, but just incredibly inefficient last year.
I mean, trust me, I hate an inefficient back as much as the next person, but I think I would have taken Mixon instead of White.
If anybody, yeah.
Yeah, then he goes Jordan Love there to pair with Jaden Reed. That's nice. What do you guys, I mean, like, so we did that with Tank Dell and CJ Stroud, like, and then, Team 6 did it with Andrews and Lamar. What do you think about stacking in these kind of tournaments? Like, is that super important? I mean, it's not a best ball, so we're not looking at it from that lens, but do you feel like it's necessary? If not, is it going to kill your team if you don't end up getting to do that?
I don't think it killed. I mean, I think it's, unless you don't have to go overboard with it, like in this, because you're really tying a lot of equity into one offense. But like you could take, like we took Hill and Waddle, we're capturing a big piece of the Miami passing, basically the only worthwhile pieces of the passing game. And then obviously Stroud and Dell is, a big piece of what we hope to be the Houston Texans offense that takes a step up adding Stephon Diggs to Nico Collins and Dell, and obviously Schultz too. I mean, that's going to be a big, San Francisco, Southwest, as far as we're hoping the efficiency comes along there and they just score a bunch of touchdowns, and, certainly going to benefit both.
I think it depends on who you take sometimes too. Like I'm a little, it's nice to stack Allen and Hurts with their respective receivers, but because of the rushing upside that they provide, I'm more okay with doing it without it. They're going to get those touchdowns and their receivers aren't anyway. So I'm actually more prone to not stacking those early. It's nice if you can do it, but I'm more okay with that. It's the later guys that I usually try and get with their receivers so I can capture more of that in an offense.
Erica, Rich, you guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, actually, Erica, you want to go first?
I was going to say at redraft, I don't really care about stacking so much because you're going to end up streaming a quarterback later on anyway. So I don't really see much of an upside, but I do like the Stroud Dell stack. Then I also like the Mahomes Kelsey stack that they have at 12.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right. So we're back up here in a pick. Okay, they took Hopkins. We've got options here. We could take our first running back. We could take a first two if we really wanted to, but there is a couple wide receivers like, there's Keon, there's Hollywood Brown at a discount. There's other than that, it's like really it for wide receivers as far as that like big tier until you really hit that Khalil Shakir.
I threw one in the queue. Kev, I don't know how you feel about that particular receiver.
One for our team?
Yeah.
That's a no.
I'm not the biggest fan of him. So do we want to go? We got 18 seconds. Do we want to grab the top?
Get a running back. I'm good with a running back right here.
Jim, he
yeah,
seems like
I think it has to be Robinson though.
Yeah.
Robinson. You want Robinson over?
I
Over
I
Warren.
I do right now. Unfortunately, yes. I think we're tied to that. So I like. I'm just gonna say he's not coming back. I like Warren a lot more, but with that injury, we don't know what we can't take Warren as the starter.
I'm hearing weeks, and I don't like weeks when I hear a hamstring injury.
Yeah, but might be ready for weeks. Right. He's still I think it's still smart. I don't think it's wrong to take him even with that. He'll come back. He'll get some time to rest up.
Yeah, that's my thinking. Where they've already said that he's got a decent chance of coming back to in week 1. So that's where I stand with that, and where we begin. I mean, from where he was going, that's like a round and a half discount.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like Keon Coleman. I mean, we are getting that discount on Warren, and I think we should take advantage of it. But I really like Keon Coleman. I guess
I do too.
I like all the guys that are in our queue right now. I know that's not helpful, especially.
I'd be totally fine because we're going to obviously draft more running back. I would be Warren here over one.
Go Warren.
Okay, sounds good to me.
I think that's a really good combo of running backs there, and with Keon, and I know he's kind of like that nebulous in the middle of like the wide receiver fall off, and then like the dregs that we get into with like the Dobbs and the obviously we're getting a discount on Addison and Shakir, and obviously it's a big drop off, but I don't know if there's like a huge like difference between a Keon Coleman and some of the guys later. That if we really want to capture like 100 targets, we could probably do it. Versus, I know Keon Coleman is like the black box, the mystery box of like, what if the Bills throw more than we think?
Yeah,
someone's got to take advantage, and it's not just going to be 3.5 yard ADOT Curtis Samuel.
Guys, so Ann has a question here regarding the tight end premium. So basically, she's wondering, the drafts that she's done, tight ends go really early in those tight end premiums. At some point, do you feel like the wide receivers are going to score more fantasy points? Is it really worth that premium to pay for those? Those tight ends that are going to go that early, like everybody here who just went in the second round with Kincaid, McBride, Laporta, and Kelsey.
Yeah, I think having the tight end, the elite tight end, is such a massive advantage to have, certainly. Versus I mean, I kind of lump Drake Ferguson into that group with Freiermuth and Njoku and Goddard, like where it's almost like if they fall, I'll grab them, but I'm not just taking them because they're like the next at ADP. So like, there's always that line of like, I'm totally great to get Bowers and be happy that, we've got a big stab at upside in the 6th round in tight end premium.
Yeah.
But, and Njoku's kind of still being priced like he has Joe Flacco as his quarterback. Goddard is still the 3rd cog in that, Eagles passing attack, a distant 3rd. Freiermuth, I'm actually warming up a little bit to him, and I would probably take him straight up over Goddard and Njoku, but he's still in that because it's an Arthur Smith offense. They have a lot of targets to the tight end. I get that. No one targeted the tight end position more than the Falcons did last year with Arthur Smith, but it's still a very shaky thing because touchdown equity can literally go to anybody.
So I heard it explained this way the other day, and I wish I could remember where I heard it to give them credit because it really kind of helped me verbalize like how, important tight ends are, those elite tight ends in a tight end premium is you're taking a tight end, those elite guys, because you're banking on them being, if not the number 1, pass catcher in their offense, the number 2. And they're going to be outscoring any other receiver on their team other than probably the 1. So with Kelsey, he is going to be the number 1 there, most likely, right? Sam Laporta, he's going to be number 2 behind St. Brown. Trey McBride, number 2 behind Harrison. Dalton Kincaid, potentially number 1. Who knows? There with his team. Same for Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, Evan Ingram, George Kittle's in there too. George Kittle's probably got a little more competition, obviously, than, most of these guys here, which is explained by his, where he's going at ADP. But that's what you're, banking on when you're taking a tight end in a tight end premium early. If you're going to wait and push it, guys like, a Musgrave, somebody, a little bit further down, maybe a Cole Kmet, somebody like that isn't going to have the same kind of upside those elite guys are. So those elite guys going early is easily explained and I think totally fine and warranted. But if you're going to punt it, you probably aren't getting the same kind of value because those guys aren't getting the same kind of targets as the top guys are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the way that I've always looked at tight end, and I'm gonna throw this to Paul Charchian because that's who I first heard talk about it, was that if you're getting one of those top tight ends, most likely like you're looking at like Luke Musgrave, just for an example, you're getting one of those premium tight ends, you're getting 10, 15, 20 points on average more than what, well, not maybe not 20, but 10 or 15 points on average more than what that other guy is going to be getting at their spot for the tight end spot. And if you have to start a tight end, like that's such a huge advantage.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Speaking of tight ends, they are pushing up.
Especially Hawkinson, yeah.
What do you guys? I am so out on Hawkinson this year. Like I don't have any Hawkinson, and I am 100% okay with that. Rich, that's your guy. This is your team here. Like, let me explain myself, and then I mean, he's gonna have a downgrade in quarterback play. Kirk Cousins loves throwing to his tight end. I don't know what Sam Darnold likes to throw at other than Ghost. So I don't know. And he's hurt and he's not going to be back for quite some time. So, mix that in with getting to know and getting comfortable with a new quarterback. I just don't feel good about taking Hawkinson. Not this year, maybe next year. It's not like I'm out on him. I think he's super talented. He's one of my favorite tight ends. But this year I'm out. I can't do it. I don't know. Can somebody bring me back on that? Does anybody have any strong feelings otherwise?
The way that I like to look at Hawkinson is, and you're totally right. Like, I mean, you're not going to have him for probably the first 5 weeks or so, at least. And so, and yeah, it will be interesting to see. He's not going to get the targets that he was getting from Kirk Cousins. So I don't think that he'll be in the running for tight end 1 like he was previously. But I do think that he's shown that it doesn't matter who is throwing him the ball, as long as he's a part of the game plan. He's going to be getting his targets. I think he'll be the number 2 or number 3 target on the team once he comes back. So I've enjoyed taking him as my tight end 2 in a lot of spots.
Yeah.
Like that's been, especially in a lot of best balls that I've been doing lately. I've been grabbing like Kyle Pitts and then waiting, and Hawkinson's still sitting there, and I'm like, well, I need somebody to play in the bye. So
yeah, he's a great tight end to pair with, like, if you have a late bye tight end, because you're not going to take a guy that has a bye in round 5.
No.
Right.
And then take Hawkinson where you're just it's going to be 0 more than likely. But
yeah.
You know, if you could take
or be forced to
even go like a Dalton Schultz because he has a week 14 bye. Like, take Dalton Schultz and Hawkinson, and you're playing by then, and though you could probably double tap both of those guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, Schultz is still available.
Yeah.
So. And Hawkinson here goes in the 9th round. So we are in the 10th round. We're 6 picks away right now. So to fill out our team, we've got Robinson and Jaylen Warren there as our 2 starting running backs. After Warren, it goes Burrow, Hawkinson, Keon Coleman, Jordan Addison, Pollard, Zach Moss, Josh Palmer, Singletary, Erica's favorite Rico, going in the 9th round to team 10. Tajay Spears, Trey Benson on the turn into round 10. We've got Jacoby Myers, Khalil Shakir, Blake Corum, Hollywood Brown, Jerome Ford. Kev's favorite Romeo Dubs just gets taken off the board.
Darn
it. We can't take it now. There goes Jameson Williams. So
I was hoping he would last.
Yeah. Not after those training camp videos that have been floating around the internet.
Jahan Dotson's still there, though. Don't worry, Stacey.
Jahan. As our good friend
generation's Devontae Parker, the
exactly
wide receiver 3 in Philly with 40 targets.
I want to ask Rich, do you push running back a lot?
Yeah.
It's not a dig or anything. The reason I don't have a lot of Hawkinson is because I'm usually trying to grab my running backs when he's about available. So it's even hard for me to grab him as a tight end.
Damn it.
I know that's not surprising though. He's been getting Dontavian Wicks has been getting steamed up the draft.
Reveal yourself, Team 5, right now.
And Christian Watson. So he's got a lot of Packers over there. The last 3 days, Wicks has been going in round 11, so he just went a full round above ADP.
So I know you called out who got drafted. Hawkinson is being drafted early. Musgrave went 3 rounds ahead of ADP.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
all right.
Look who the Hawkinson guy just took with
Schultz. Show yourself, team 3.
Yeah, reveal yourself.
Show yourself. Who are you? You're listening.
There's a canary. Yeah, we've been infiltrated.
We have
so we're up at a pick. There's some names in the queue.
I think Jim would rather die than take the first one.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think we need
did you put? You're the one who put him in there? Okay.
Yeah, but not to take here. That was there were other people in front of him when I put him there. We don't need him there.
No,
for sure. Not to actually.
All right.
Do we want to start looking at another tight end here? Do we want to
do we take that value on Daniels, or no? Because he has the same bias Stroud.
Oh, if he has the same buy, I don't want to deal with that because that means we have to take 3.
Yeah.
Or we have to go pick somebody up later. Erica, you're the mole. Damn. She's over there being so quiet.
So I'm not sure about the first name on the queue, just because we already have a Commanders running back, and I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, my bad.
But I'm fine with Gus. If we want to take him, then figure out and then we can
put him at the top.
Want to do that?
Put him at the top, yeah.
Done.
All right. I'll sit on Gus for like another 10 seconds and then take him, but it would probably be time to take another wide receiver, honestly.
Jim, you put that third person in our queue in there, didn't you?
Yeah, but look at it's drying up. They're getting pushed up. We don't have to grab it. The only I don't hate Lockett if it's time for a wide receiver. I don't hate Lockett. Stacy does.
Yeah.
I have a thought. I have a thought to push somebody up.
Let's do it.
Jalen Polk.
Oh yeah. All right.
I would rather have like Judy would be like maybe the only other guy, but I've never been a big Lockett. Like Lockett's fine to me as far as if we have to throw him in the lineup.
As the next available, like only young guy with a shot left that we like, you know what I mean? Like we don't have
fine.
We don't have a rookie yet.
Polk is good.
We're not going to depend on him anytime soon. Even if we don't know who starts at quarterback or whatever.
Sean says it's too soon. Sean is heckling us in the draft in the chat, guys. He says too soon.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you just got to make a stand. You got to put your foot down for a guy that's going to be the top target in New England for Drake May.
There's so many receivers, though, man.
No.
You got to
round 13 is where. So that was a bit of a stretch because he's been going in round 13.
Musgrave went in round 8. Stretches don't matter anymore. ADP went out the window.
Yeah.
What's ADP?
Jalen Daniels there is kind of crazy.
I do like what is in the queue though right now, and it's probably a good idea to snap up one of those and then another. I don't know, because we only need to take. Okay, so we're done at quarterback. We've got 6 wide receivers. We got 3 running backs. So we got a tight end. It's probably I would say certainly we all know the positions that we need.
Yeah.
On this next turn. Good. Keep the quarterback run going, by the way.
Let's go. Daniels, Prescott, Williams go off the board right after we take Polk. Sean is a Demario Douglas fan, just like me.
I mean, so I think Douglas will be fine. I think he's going to be better than I think we prognosticated just because we wanted to push up Javon Baker, and he's already playing behind like Tyquan Thornton, and he's going to be playing behind Kendrick Bourne and KJ Osborne already. So like, I think that came out yesterday where he was already playing behind those guys. So that gives Douglas another like good out toward being the second. He'll be battling with Henry, I would say, for the second target on that team. But I do think when push comes to shove and like, you flip over the cards on the 2024 Patriots, I think Polk is the guy there. But we'll see if our decision to pull him up to the 11th is prudent. The quarterback run is real.
Yeah, 4 in a row. Purdy goes after Williams. That's a nice little stack with Ayuk there. He took Ayuk in the 4th, as long as he stays a Niner.
Not that anybody's sticking to ADP, but those are like, I can see those as all being taken because they're all values. Like, that's the only reason why. Like, I'm not. Now, I guess Daniels with Burrow makes sense.
So Purdy is the only one who is typically going around lower. Daniels, Prescott, and Williams are all going earlier. So getting those guys in the 11th is a value for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier when you were talking about the when you're asking about like our preferences when it comes to redraft and quarterbacks and stuff like that. Like I usually wait until the 10th round almost every time before I take a quarterback. That's just my personal preference. Although I have been coming around to taking Kyler Murray a little bit earlier, and I was actually kind of surprised when I get why you went with CJ Stroud with this, so you could get the stack and everything, and I love CJ Stroud too, but I probably would have gone Kyler Murray there just for that rushing upside.
I do like especially with some of the issue with Warren. I do like getting Gus there as well as like kind of a stopgap on that too.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big Kamani Vidal guy, although I get it. And I don't understand a lot of the I almost said CJ Spiller, Isaiah Spiller, steam. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I think it's going to be Gus's backfield for the most part this year. So I'm totally fine with that. And I think this would be a good time to look. Yeah, like lock it at 11-11 is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sean has a point kind of in here regarding the taking multiple quarterbacks. So this might be a good debate. So he likes to have 2 quarterbacks in high stakes. Obviously, you can get guys on waivers, but sometimes everybody else watching the draft board, they might start to kind of box you out, and then you may get stuck with somebody who's just really, not ideal at all. I know we did take Stroud. We took one of the elite guys. We took him early in the 7th. Is this a concern? Do we, is this something that, we're sitting here saying, okay, do we want to go and grab one later, or are we totally committed to just taking the one?
I mean, it's gonna see. We got to see what plays out. Like if we're in the 18th round before we take our kicker and defense, and we're someone is out there that probably shouldn't be out there, I'd be like open to it as far as taking a guy. But
yeah,
as far as like if it were my sole thing, I would just be loading up on as many running backs and wide receivers as I can to be able to kind of capture that, and then. Because if CJ Stroud goes down, then it is what it is, I guess. But I understand definitely that point too.
Yeah, I mean, like I know I've definitely been in, and you get in, drafts like this, higher stakes drafts. You've got really sharp drafters. They are going to start looking at what other teams are lacking and start to kind of suck up the value at those positions. To punish you, essentially punish the room. So, I mean, I've seen that happen in drafts. Like, I know that's happened to me in drafts. Like, I've probably done that to people in drafts.
Probably. You did it on purpose last year to a team sitting next to us in the main event.
Okay, but there's a whole story behind that. All right? There's a whole story. And I didn't do that on purpose, but I was pleased that that was the outcome.
All right, fine. I did it on purpose, and Stacy was sitting next to me. And it was awesome.
Well, that's because I nearly flipped the table when somebody took Sam Laporta 2 rounds earlier than they should have. Right after we said, we'll get him on the next round. No.
You can get, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at quarterback. I see you, Sean. You get it. It's not, don't do it for fun. There's a lot of different ways to look at it, I think, for me. And we actually talked about this, I think, yesterday. The earlier I take a quarterback, the less likely I want to take a backup. Right. And I guess that's a strategy thing. And now everybody knows that about me. But kind of with that too, and especially to Kevin's point, the guy's got a week 14 bye. Like, what are we drafting him for? And most of the matchups in week 14, like the backups sucks. You don't even know, like Drake May. Like, yeah, he'll be starting, but he's gonna be on a bye week 14 too. So it gets a little bit tougher when you get to the end. So I think I'm with Kevin where it's like what falls. Mm-hmm. What falls, and if it makes sense, and if not, then we'll figure it out. Because Sam, help me out if you're still watching. How many quarterbacks started last year?
It's some insane number.
I mean, yeah. Josh Dobbs was on a couple of my teams. We had Josh Dobbs.
Say half of those started for the Vikings.
Yeah,
right.
So
like, look at how many teams are taking 2 quarterbacks. That's the 3rd team.
Yeah.
4th
so
team, actually.
Let's pull this up here a little bit. So Team 12 has got Mahomes and Lawrence. Then we've got Team 9 here with Hurts and Tua. Team 8's got Anthony Richardson, Jared Goff. And then back up here at Team 2's got Burrow and Jaden Daniels.
Look, I welcome that because that's going to just increase the amount of followers that get to us at other positions.
That's definitely pushing value.
And it's not even boxing us out at quarterback. I mean,
we boxed everybody else out at wide receiver.
Stafford, Rodgers. Like, there's still who's going to be starting in Pittsburgh. Like, I'll take the guy that's running and see if he's there. But we have till week 14 to figure it out. So,
right, there's going to be like solid names out there. Like, even despite if everybody else wants to take another quarterback but us. Yeah. There's still going to be startable options out there. So I welcome that because that is basically almost a round of guys that are coming to us when they have no reason to be.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Sean's the mole. Maybe he's maybe Sean, are you team 3?
I mean, Everybody heard the question though. That's when all the number 2 QBs went
off. In the order that we have, because we have 2 positions in the queue. In the first position, is that the order of how? Let me look at ADP. ADP kind of has some jumbled out. Like, is that how you want? As I'm totally fine with that. With those,
I don't want to say any
names
there.
They are not in order of ADP.
No, they're not.
No.
I would even throw probably another name in there as well.
Ooh.
As like even with those guys. And there's one that's not in there that
I just put one in the queue.
Oh.
No.
For the first position?
Yeah, he's number 9. I just threw him in there.
Oh, I haven't seen it. It didn't pop up yet.
Okay.
Sean
says he would never take Schultz. Sean, I think you're just trying to like fake us out now. I think that's what's happening.
I mean, I probably wouldn't either, for being honest.
No. Another team with 2 QBs. We got Kirk Cousins, Caleb Williams combo right here.
I mean, at least they took 2 in the 11th and 12th. That's at least defensible. I just think that's... If you're taking Jalen Hurts, I don't know what Tua does for you, except clog your bench. You're going to have to drop him anyway to pick up the hypothetical 21st round wide receiver running back or tight end.
So those 3, the top 3 that are there, and nobody has a bye week that coincides with Bowers.
Right. Okay, sweet. Like, I'm fine with any of those guys. Would probably take Otten over.
I'm an Otten fan. You don't have to twist my arm.
So it's too soon. It's too soon for the third one. So, sorry, the second one.
Yeah, because he's hurt anyway. He hasn't practiced in like a week.
Yeah, and I thought he was back today. But I double tap that too. If you got, I don't know what you think about that.
I have one name. For like a running back, if we want to take an upside stab after. So are we like, do you want to sit on Otten and then make the pick and talk about the second one now?
Yeah.
Okay. I would be either Ray Davis or Jalen Wright as far as a running back.
Davis, because we already have 2 Miami wide receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. We're making a bet on the wide receiver, so
yeah.
All right.
Let's go
grab Otten now.
Yeah.
You will never pull my arm on Ray Davis. Ray Davis is like my second most drafted running back. My first most drafted non-injured running back.
I'm new to the Ray Davis hive. I really liked what I saw in the that last preseason game. It was a good time. I like it.
Are you good with Davis? Good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
that gives us some upside and some standalone value too.
I think Ray Davis is just as good a pick as James Cook, honestly. So
yeah, I agree.
You're getting the same guy 10 rounds later. It's fine with me.
That's a good turn. That's a really good turn.
Dude,
so guys, we are moving into sorry.
How does Keith feel about those tight ends?
How does who?
Keith feel about those tight ends?
Kate, yeah, I mean, I think Keith is going to love our team.
You drafted him just for him.
I hope that Atlanta traffic is going to let you get to be able to jump in here towards the end. So we are now in round 13. We just took Kate Otten, Ray Davis. Just to give you guys kind of a rundown real quick, because we are now an hour in. So thank you all for still hanging out with us and watching this draft. Out of the 1 spot, we go Hill, Debo, Jalen Waddle, Tank Dell, Rashee Rice, Brock Bowers, CJ Stroud. We got 3. We get triple tapped those running backs with Robinson, Warren, and Edwards. Went and got Jalen Polk. Kate Otten is our second tight end, and then followed that up with rookie Ray Davis.
It's a good-looking squad.
This is. I like the squad. Is it $1 million squad, Kev?
I mean,
it depends on how good Demario Douglas is.
It depends on the currency as well.
There you go.
I mean, million yen? Probably not. I mean, that's like $5. Mike
To
Williams.
update.
I forgot he existed. Not gonna lie.
To update everyone on the very important preseason games that are on tonight.
Oh yeah.
Undefeated Chicago Bears are beating the Kansas City Chiefs 20-7.
Nice.
And then what's the other game on?
Like the Colts on or
The
something.
Colts and the Bengals. Colts up 17-7 in the fourth.
Oh, is that Anthony Richardson getting revenge for all the Bengals players making fun of him during joint practices this week?
He went 8 for 14, 86 yards, 3 yards rushing.
3 yards.
Sounds
Wow.
Wow, I know. Sounds like Richardson was hitting a lot more players than he was spots.
Yeah.
It's preseason. Stuff gets so overblown. Like, remember when Jamar Chase, when that news came out about him not being able to see the football because of the stripes? Like, come on. Or like Justin Jefferson is playing behind Olabisi Johnson in 3 wide receiver sets. Like,
I mean, the Bears are undefeated, so I'm going with it.
If we want to go by MLB spring training rules with that, they're gonna win 3 games this season.
Probably. I mean,
but what a 3 games.
Erica, I did really enjoy that Caleb Williams to Romadunze touchdown pass he threw at the last preseason game. That was really nice. I might bump up my projections for Romadunze.
That Caleb Odunze throw, that's the throw of the preseason.
Yeah, that was hot.
And then the one that he caught in the corner but didn't get his feet down. Oh.
I even sent that video to a friend of mine. Her husband is a Bears fan, and she and I are both obviously Packer fans. And so usually I'm sending him like disparaging things about the Bears, but I thought I would be nice and uplifting and send him that. I was like, you might have a chance for second in the division this year.
Like the fact that he made that throw, rolling to his left, throwing across his body, hitting a dime to Odunze, who had to almost back shoulder that and catch it. Like,
just beautiful.
This isn't Rex Grossman.
Right.
It's not.
It sucks. It sucks because I did not want Caleb to be good in the NFL, just because he's from OU, to begin with. Played against my, Oklahoma State boys. But then he went to the Bears. So then he has to be good.
Yeah. You're committed now. Now you have to.
I hate it.
There's you know who Nick Swartzen is, the comedian? Rich, you should. He's from Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
You ever hear the bit he did about Aaron Rodgers, because he's a Vikings fan? He went to it was at a charity event, and he's like, hey, his agent or whatever was like, hey, this guy wants to meet you. Who is it? It's Aaron Rodgers. And he's like, and Swartzen's like, no, fuck that guy. And it's like, you can't do that. It's a charity event. So I already know how this is gonna go. We're gonna have some laughs. We're gonna meet him. I'm gonna have some laughs. We're gonna become friends, and then I'm gonna hate myself because my life is over because I'm friends with a Packer fan. And I guess that's exactly what happened.
That's fantastic. So this is round 14. Do we want to start taking bets on how soon people start taking those defenses off the board?
I'll give it a round. 15th.
It's definitely soon. It's happening. See, there goes another. We got Kyler, Justin Herbert stack here.
Jets are coming off the board in mid-round 15.
Oh, yeah.
And then Justin Tucker's coming off in the
I don't even know the scoring shit for defense.
Oh!
There it is.
Wow.
Reveal yourself. That was awfully quick.
That was fast. Somebody had that queued up and ready to just smash the minute it was.
Is Dallas even the top-rated defense?
Well, you had to stack them with Brandon Cooks.
That's right. Yes, you do. That's his big strategy in high stakes.
Must be a Cowboys fan.
Stack your defense with one of your later round receivers.
Yeah, 100%. That's probably on the Substack behind the paywall for sure.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to go grab the New England defense right here in round 14, right? Who just took Braylon Allen from us? That was rude.
I mean, I wasn't.
Why can't I have both my rookie running backs?
There's another one I like.
There is.
Can you guys see number 3?
Ooh.
Yes.
I just have a question. I'm not saying I want to grab him. I just have a question. I mean, I don't know truly, but like making the bet we made, does that make sense that way?
It does, but I mean, we'll talk about it if he gets back to us. I do have a take on that.
Okay. I'm not tied to it. I just don't know. I truly don't know if that makes sense given that. So
multiple
run.
defense
run. There goes the Jets.
That's awesome.
Another double QB team with Purdy and Rodgers.
There is
unbelievable.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, sorry.
Unbelievable. I wanted 2 gimpy running backs on my team, damn it.
We still might.
Who else is out there? Who else has a hamstring injury that we can go get?
I'll tell you it's 3 picks or 2 picks.
Go get Tyrone Tracy with an ankle.
They both get hurt in the same game all the time. Isn't that the best thing to do is to take the third guy?
Let's go get Kendry Miller, who his coach absolutely hates him apparently.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I've been loving all those memes.
It's so terrible. Dennis Allen needs to chill out, man.
Right?
Like, yikes.
I love that wide receiver.
Which one?
The only one in the queue. Oh, sorry.
The 2 in there.
The higher one. Highest.
Yeah, one. That's pretty good there too.
Yeah.
So the guy you were talking about was Elijah Mitchell. The only thing when Mason was taken, so that kind of removed some of the steam off that. But I'm just not. I mean, it's good to have like the handcuff to a guy like CMC. I'm just worried that the 49ers are like almost sick of his shit by now because the dude can't stay healthy.
Yeah, it's been 2, but they didn't let him go.
No,
they're sick if they're putting up with Ayuk shit.
I'm so over Elijah Mitchell. He doesn't do anything.
I'm not into Elijah Mitchell. I'm just saying we made the bet that CMC is not going to be the best player in football. Does it make sense?
Do we want to grab that receiver, by the way, the 3rd one? Are you good with that, Stacey?
Yes.
Okay. I'll grab him now.
Absolutely.
I don't think we need to go running back here. I'd like to grab one of those tight ends and call it a day.
Xavier.
I don't know what you
I'm either one.
There's one that's like
love Legent. I love him.
Right? He's so fun.
Fant would be my pick over those. He shares a bye with Bowers, but we've got 3.
Who do you want?
And I do like making a bet on the Ryan Grubb offense in Seattle.
I don't have any Fant, so
I'm good with Fant, dude. I'm the one that put him in there. I like Fant. And I don't have much either.
Do you like him over Juwan Johnson?
I like a lot of people over Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, same.
Okay. All right. Sweet. All right. I'll grab Fant.
Nice.
Admittedly, Stacey's talked me into this, and that's not good. I try to hold my take so that our teams are like. I feel like we do better when we clash than when we agree. But that offense, like you just said, Dennis Allen. What's going to happen with that offense, man? Like, I do want pieces of it, but also because Juwan Johnson burned the hell out of me last year, like it's kind of a double whammy for me where I'm not too into it. But by all means, if you got to take where he does something, I'm all ears.
I mean, Juwan would just be like he's got pretty good bets to being the 2nd target on the team, even with Rashid Shaheed. Like, I'm not fully convinced that he can be like a real target earner in that offense. And then they've got to also replace a lot of the short stuff that Michael Thomas left, and there's not any of that available. It's almost like they have no wide receivers that can do that. Like they drafted Bub Means, who had like a 18-yard 8-out in college. Shaheed's obviously a guy that can go deep as well. Olave, Olave is a guy I've drafted a lot just because I think he can be like the Stephon Diggs or DJ Moore, where he would run deep routes, but also if you give him the short and intermediate, he can get the full route tree and just smash. But aside from that, there's nobody in the short area of the field. And I think that's where like a Juwan Johnson would be, who's been a really good athletic, he used to play wide receiver. So that would be my like take on that. But he's already I think he's off the pup now. I think he came off like a day or two ago.
Yep.
So
why do you hate A.T. Perry?
I don't really have a strong lead on that, but I just saying. Vibes.
Love it.
Well, I hope you all keep vibing out. I gotta bounce. It's been a pleasure. Hope you all have a great night.
Rich, have a great night.
Yep.
We will see you next week back for our listener league draft. Catch you later.
We'll see you there.
Good team. Surprised. Okay, this guy's the whoever took the Jets and the Dallas Cowboys defense. Those two teams are absolutely live to take Justin Tucker or any other kicker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like they're mulling over. Do I want to take him or do I want to take Brent? Okay, they took. Oh yeah, they took Rashad Bateman. Yeah, real great pick there.
They took the bait, man.
If they take the Dallas defense, they're taking Aubrey over Tucker. I'm telling you right now.
I don't have an issue with that. I mean, that's a fun pick. Why not? It's a kicker.
It sure is.
It's a kicker.
Brandon Aubrey was like on all of my reader teams last year after like week 4.
Oh, it has to be. It has to be Aubrey for the stack.
Guys out there, appreciate all of you that are still hanging with us. It is an hour and 26 minutes into this draft. We are in round 15. We've got 5 more rounds to go. So thank you for all of us hanging out here with us. Again, if you've made it this far and you haven't hit that subscribe button for Fantasy and Frames yet, please go over, hit that right now. Get notifications about when we are live, when we are doing shows, what's coming out. If you're new to Fantasy and Frames, we have got any kind of fantasy content that you are looking for. We've got Dynasty, Redraft, Best Ball. We've got DFS. We've got IDP. Literally anything and everything. And if you were into fantasy hockey, we have also got that. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We just hit 1,000 subscribers earlier this year and are going strong, hoping to hit 2,000 before the season's over.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Justin Tucker.
There he goes.
Snatched.
McMillan would have been a nice pick.
Yeah.
Also.
Jalen McMillan is fun. There goes Elijah Mitchell. We don't have to talk about him anymore.
Dude, I haven't drafted him anywhere. I just thought in a spot where you don't take CMC.
I'm just gonna mess with you now for the rest of the draft about Elijah Mitchell.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. That's quite the little murderer's row there in the 14th, 15th, and 16th round with Damian Pierce, Elijah Mitchell, and Isaac Garendo.
Yeah. Well, you put all 3 of those guys together, you might get like half of a real boy.
When you push running back the way this guy did.
He's got, let's see, Mixon, Connor, Brooks, Benson, Damian Pierce, Elijah Mitchell. So he's got 2 serviceable running backs.
Imagine drafting Mixon and then not even drafting the handcuff.
Man.
I
do have a take on that.
It is getting punchy here, guys.
I just tried to look.
There it is. There it is. Stack your defense and your kicker, folks. That's the way to do it.
Why take Brandon Aubrey in the 15th when you can just wrap them around and take them in the 16th?
Do they have any other Dallas? They got Cooks. Who else? That's it? Yeah, that's it.
Look. Anytime you can take the 7th, 8th, and 9th best fantasy option for the Cowboys, you got to do it.
Have
I don't
to.
mind. I don't mind stacking.
Are they going to
kicker
take
in
Deuce Vaughn?
defense.
Couldn't even get Rico Dowdle.
Oh, my boy. He went before Zeke, didn't he?
Maybe actually.
He did. He went two rounds ahead of Zeke.
Yeah, he
I think
did.
that's normal.
Yeah, that's getting normal.
Do you guys like the running back I just put in the queue?
What's the nice way?
That's a no. That's no.
Not here. I don't care if that's what his price is. Not here.
No, not.
Is it,
what do you mean?
is
Not
it
here?
fullback premium too?
Or... He is getting steamed up by people that are smart. Kev,
he's Michael Burton.
No,
people that are smart. So not us.
Yeah, exactly. Not on this show, but
how do you guys
some
feel
others.
about the wide receivers in the queue?
The two, I love those. Those are
Sean.
my boys.
I agree with you. I like to match up my kickers with my QBs.
Not your defense.
Sean's FFPC partner.
But you know what? If you got something, stick to. Like if you're gonna have a kicker strategy, just stick to it for everyone. Like I like putting them with my QB, but if you like putting them with your defense, it makes sense. And special teams, who cares?
Yeah,
like whatever works.
I also
not in these rounds.
I also tossed another running back in the queue as well.
Me too. That sounded so shitty. I'm sorry. I did as well.
What did you say?
So did I.
Okay.
I feel retarded for asking. I looked this up a couple weeks ago for the main event. I know in the main event there's waivers on Wednesday and then Saturday night.
Yeah.
Is that true for Fantasy Pros?
It's the same
I don't
waiver
know the answer
schedule.
to that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's the same waiver schedule. Yeah.
So you get your free looks there too.
Yeah, that's true. What do you guys think about like settling that tie if you want to take a wide receiver between Wandale and Dortch?
Sean wants us to get the Dortch.
I'm good with both.
I'm fine with either one.
Jim?
I think there's probably more room for Robinson to have an impact in that
7
offense.
seconds. 3.
You decide.
I had to take Dortch. Yeah,
I like Dortch anyway. I like
Dortch
him
is
more.
fine. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I see the other running back. They're all about you. I mean, minus the fullback, they're probably you for me. Sorry, Stacy.
That's okay.
I only asked we're on the clock. So with Shipley, like you get that free look. That's
probably good. That's a good tiebreaker. Yeah, because we get that. I'm good with that. If you want, you good with that, Stacy?
That's fine.
Or are you sure heart's set on?
Not right now. We can wait on that. I think we can push that one. If we really want it, we can push that one. Yeah.
The other thing with Shipley is I'm not a healthy Saquon believer.
I'm not either.
So I tried not to bring my bags into here, but I'm overweight on Shipley, and I don't plan on stopping for the next 2 weeks.
Can't stop, won't stop.
I was almost wishing that the Eagles had another like running back so they could just like cut bait with Gainwell and just stop trying to make fetch happen with him. But Shipley, I'm totally good with. We have one more pick before we take our kicker.
I can't wait. Kevin, I feel like I need to send you, like, the minute I open my Twitter, the player that you were just shitting all over that I put in the queue is like the first thing on my Twitter with like a huge run that he just had.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Are we gonna get Peyton Hillis again? Damn it. Someone else has probably just watched that and they're gonna take him in the next 3 picks. Maybe. I mean, someone took Quentin Johnston. The Band-Aid's off. It's like it's the Wild West. You just take anybody at this point. Yeah, if he's still there, I think we take him. Worst worst case, it's we drop him in week 2 if he's
literally
playing like 6 snaps.
Yeah, I found it. All Fantasy Pros Championship teams will have the same choice on whether to start or sit Thursday and Friday players retroactively after they have watched the game.
So, Sean, that is your answer. Ooh, guys, sorry. I hope everybody watching. I have got some sinus issues tonight, so I keep popping off camera to deal with my nose and everything. And I've had like 3 seasons in a row, so I am so sorry.
I just asked in our private chat. I was like, "Are you okay?"
No, I'm not okay. My nose is like twice the size that it normally is, all swollen, and I've got to get on a plane tomorrow and go to Kentucky to draft. And I feel like my nose is going to explode at some point. So sorry, everybody.
Okay, I just saw the run. I'm in.
Yeah, right.
I'm easily swayed by peer pressure. I mean, the slogan is already there for him. It's stop the steal.
Yes.
I mean, in today's political climate, all right, that's the most I'll say. How the mighty have fallen for Kendry Miller.
Oof.
Is Jamal Williams a better pick?
Jamal Lewis might be a better pick.
I think, Stacey, would you take him as your 17th round pick, even knowing you get 0 points from him the rest of the year?
Jamal Williams?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Swag Daddy. No, I wouldn't take him at 17. No, I might take him in the 20th round.
Well, 18, I guess. 18 is our last pick. After that, we have to capitulate.
That's true. Yeah, we do. So technically, this is going to be our last pick since we are here in the 18th round of our last skill position players.
Are we tied to a position here, or locked out at one, or is it?
We have one. Yeah, we're fluid,
Mhm.
and then obviously our kicker defense. We're taking one of those on the other pick.
Oh yes. 2 of my faves. I love it. Who just did that? Who put that in the queue?
I did.
Yeah.
I want 0. I'm not advocating for him, but Tim Patrick, who Denver can't quit, is like I don't want. I mean, I'm not really taking. I a little bit of Mims this year, and that's pretty much all I'm kind of into. Like, is he the dude that's just going to go in and like just make it worse for everybody else to where they shouldn't have been drafted in the first place, but like now you really pay for it because Tim Patrick gets like 40 targets?
Josh Reynolds has been doing that for years. He's on the same roster. I took him. Like, I got him for $1 in Kings Classic as my last player.
How is he still there, Reynolds. Tim Patrick?
He hasn't played Josh Reynolds. Tim Patrick hasn't played a snap in an NFL game since January 8th of 2022.
That's why he's still there.
I literally just wrote about it today, actually. So that's the only reason why that date is fresh in my mind. But Jonathan Mingo.
Oof.
I'm glad to see Wandale went ahead of him, though. I would not be able to think of him the same way again if Mingo went ahead of him.
Right.
All right.
Do you guys have a preference for kickers that play in domes?
I do. Like, they're the top 2 that are available at ADP would be the guys I would choose. Because they have not only that, but late buys.
Ooh. Yes, they do. Throw some of that.
The only other, I do have one kicker take too, but he's week 5, but he plays in the most indoor games this season.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any strong defense leans?
Yes, I just put one in the queue.
Okay.
And I'm going to put why I put them in there.
I only have one team defense take, and it would be, are we planning on keeping one and riding it, or?
So I guess if we were gonna do that, I feel like we should. That's kind of your argument for taking somebody early, right? So like, if you take the Jets, you're gonna worry about taking another defense the rest of the year, right?
Right. Yeah.
So there's that. But if we've kind of waited, we're probably more likely to stream somebody.
Right. And if we did that, I had one option for like at least for week 1.
Ugh.
And I know it's kind of gross, but the matchup is really good.
The one that I put
wait
in
on
the
that
queue,
because they're not going to get. I'll guarantee you they don't get taken.
Is it the one I just put in the queue?
Yup. Sure is.
I actually.
All right, you know what we have to do here? Do it.
Do we want to take?
No.
Are we doing the stop the steal?
Yes.
We get a peek on him too, don't we?
Yes. Actually. Yes. There you go.
And that's the reasoning why I put that one defense in.
Stop the steal.
And according to Stacy, if he's been rising up, that is a
steal.
Yeah.
The 2 kickers are literally the guys I wanted, and they are like as 50-50 as it gets. So
I like the first
tiebreaker, the later bye week.
Oh, never mind. That is a better tiebreaker. I agree.
Do you want to just take Fairbairn and call it a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like quarterback. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Look, we got to stack up all the Houston.
Yep.
So Carson Steele has actually been going the last 3 days in round 18, exactly where we took him.
As the last pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a ginger too, by the way. You see those flowing locks?
Is he really?
Yeah.
Dude,
no,
you didn't tell me that sooner. I'd have been trying to get him in round 16.
So we have committed to one quarterback here. Our defense is going to be our very last pick. We are at 1 hour and 41 minutes. Thank you to everybody who is watching and hanging out with us tonight in the chat. We love you, appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we are the only team who went single QB. Right? Yeah.
Everybody else has
Steele.
2.
Again, did he get a touchdown? What happened?
Yeah, he did.
Hell yeah, he
4
did.
4 for 50 and a touchdown tonight.
Whoop, whoop. That's right. Let's go, Carson Steele.
He's not going in the 18th anymore.
No, forget
honestly,
that.
By the time we get to Vegas,
he's not going to be a write-in anymore. He's a write-in right now. On a lot of boards that he's going to be going early.
And
but then you're overpaying because Pacheco is still there. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but so I mean, does that mean CEH is dead? RIP.
He didn't play. He didn't play tonight, so he's probably still their backup.
Yeah, he's probably still the RB2 there. Just that's the deference of we've seen what we need to see, and he's probably just the guy and doesn't want to get injured. So, but we get to see how they're going to operate their offense in week 1. So maybe, but yeah, if every other team has a quarterback too. Because we're locked into defense for our last pick, I can't sort through the others, but like just looking at the guys available, like Geno Smith is out there.
Yeah.
Like there are going to be quarterbacks out there if we really need to, like all the rookies are out there too.
Yeah, Drake May, Jacoby Brissett,
Deshaun
Watson, or Jameis Winston.
Levis is still out there.
Levis is out there too. Bo Nix.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson still out there?
Yeah.
No, I meant to say Jameis Winston. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, Jameis.
Our one, yeah, the true king.
Oh, there goes Geno. I've taken Jameis several places as a backup QB, and I don't hate it. I think he does start at some point, maybe sooner rather than later.
I cannot. So if I'm drafting Jalen Hurts at 404. I don't know how I'm going to pay the money for this league and then draft Tua and Geno Smith.
Is that what just?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh baby, what did you
should have been. Where'd Dotson go?
Hurts it a guy late, if that. But like, get 2 out of there and draft something else.
Even if you have to take a backup at 12.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Like, I don't know, stack it somehow, I guess. Not McCarthy, Darnold. Right?
Yeah.
Darnold's still out there. Yeah.
That's who you take if you took Hurts at 4 with Jefferson.
Yeah, I would have been Hurts in May in the last round or something like that.
Yeah.
Just to get an upside guy.
Or just Geno. Or don't take Tua, like you said. Just take Geno because now you have JSN. Like that works too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now you've just cut your bench off by a third?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there, Geno Smith, our backup quarterback. Is that? Did we just figure it out?
Not for us.
Would have paired nicely with Lockett.
No. So I was a Shaheed fan last year, just looking at the board, and I know that you brought him up earlier. I was in the Shaheed. But is he steaming up this year because there's nobody else, or because of the league rule changes, and now he's a punt returner, and people think that that's going to turn into, and it could. I haven't done the math. Massive points. I know it made a difference in the fishbowl, but it definitely does make a difference in the fishbowl because you get points for that. Do you get points if your player is on special teams in these?
I don't think you get the individual points.
You do.
No, but I he's still going higher than he was.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's.
I would say it's probably just because of the target's got to go to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know Michael Thomas isn't there anymore, but what's really changed with that offense?
Not much. That's what I'm saying.
It's Olave, and that's kind of it.
That's it.
And that was my whole thesis for Juwan Johnson, where he's been there. I think he can probably earn targets better than and occupy an area of the field that's largely uninhabited by any of the skill position players they have there, outside of like maybe Kamara.
Yeah.
If he does it, it's a change from last year. Because we had a lot of Knox and Johnson. That was kind of our Kincaid isn't going to make it.
So I'm my bad. Earlier I said that we were the only single QB team, and that was incorrect because Team 7 had Jordan Love, and until just now they took Danny Dimes as their second.
Well, good luck with that one. When Daniel Jones is not starting for the Giants because his contract, like Russell Wilson's last year.
I was still out there. You were right, Eric. I'm sorry.
There goes Deshaun Watson right after.
This is not best
so that's a 3 QB team as well with Lamar, Stafford, and Watson. That's a lot.
Can we start arguing
best ball and there's waivers?
Exactly. I think it's just like exactly what Sean said right here. Like 3 QB, 2 kickers, 2 defense. It's a total waste in a redraft like this where you've got waiver options.
100%.
Yeah.
Know your setting. Know your settings. Know your league.
Mm-hmm.
Like
you got to know.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say 2 is defensible, and it depends on where you get them. Like Caleb and Kirk, totally fine, fine. Purdy and Rodgers I don't know if there's another out of them on that Purdy Rodgers team at the 105, but if those are the 2, like that's fine too.
Mm-hmm. And now you're just taking up roster spots on your team. Right. So if you're doing that, because here's what I'm thinking too, like. Are you doing that to try to box out the other teams to try to, because if you are, what does it matter? You're just going to have to sit on those guys.
Or drop them. And like I was saying before, like the hypothetical 21st round, which is essentially the waiver wire, you're going to have to spend your fab to pick up guys to drop those quarterbacks.
Exactly.
So it's like just one big cascading effect of the decision to draft a quarterback is going to hurt you in multiple ways.
Yeah. Tim Patrick goes to Team 4 over here. So again, another mole. Show yourself. Where are you?
I mean, if that's all it took, hang on. Carolina defense. Diary Brown.
Sean has a metal message for you, Kev.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Absolutely. Like I have epilepsy, so that's very near and dear to me as well. So appreciate the kind words, Sean. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are back up.
Here we are. Last pick, guys.
So that was funny that Jim put that defense in the queue. The Giants do play the Minnesota Vikings in week 1.
Green Bay also free look on Friday. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. That's Philly and Brazil. It's up. It's whatever you guys want to do. I mean, just let me know. I have no.
They got a week 10 bye. You got to know in 18 seconds.
You can always entice me with a free look, but the Giants defense, which I actually think is underrated against Sam Darnold, who sees ghosts.
7 seconds.
I'm Giants. I'm not changing it. You pick
Kevin, pick it. Make the pick.
I took the Giants.
Okay. Draft is complete. An hour and 50 seconds or 50 minutes, 48 seconds.
That's a lot.
Guys, how do we feel? Just real quick, because I know we've been on for a while. Appreciate everybody who's hung with us for that whole time. How do you feel about the team? Do we feel good about this? I feel good about this team.
This is a wagon.
Yeah.
This is a wagon.
This is hot. I like it. Erica, you have this is not your team. So give us an unbiased opinion. How do you like this team?
I like it. It's a different type of build than a lot of the other teams did and the other ones that we've done before, but I like it. A lot of upside for the first 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good here. Jim, what do you think?
I hate the Stroud pick. But looking, so I'm all about like the build at the end instead of the individual player, and I like the way it turned out a lot. And I like what we did at the end with the running backs, which can pay off week 1, or we can sit on them and see if they pay off, in a couple weeks, and we have the room to wait because of the ones we took earlier. It's a pretty solid build, which is what I care about more than the players we took.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've always been a structure. I would say structure over the individual player takes, and I think we got good on both ends of that. So, I think this is a really good team. I think it's gonna make a lot of noise in our in this league.
Yeah,
Sean?
and just as a reminder to everybody too, there are cash prizes for the individual playoffs in individual leagues before you move on to the championship round. And if you win this league, it payouts $1,500. Second place is $500. Jim, we got a second place last year. On one of the, was it one of these, or it was one of these, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Pros? Yeah. So
me and Rich get paid like $18 an hour. That works.
Exactly. For consulting purposes, we'll
exactly.
That's how we'll split it.
Consulting fees.
Backs in the mail.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I don't. In lieu of cash prizes, there are usually free leagues given out as well.
Yeah.
So most likely, if unless this team wins serious money, it would probably just turn into this. We're just drafting the main event at the same time next year.
Right. Exactly. So that's always an option too, which is something nice. And that the FFPC does is give you that, option to take a free team the next year. So you're not spending that cash.
Right.
Yep. Well, guys, next week we are going to be here a little bit early. We're going to be on at the 8:00 hour. That is going to be our live listener league, the Vampire League draft is going to be live streamed. 8:00. That should be full. I need to check on a couple things, but thanks to everybody who joined and who wants to come hang out with us. If we have any open spots, I will be spreading the word the rest of this weekend. But otherwise, guys, thanks so much for joining us. And again, last push for, if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do that. You can follow all of us here online on Twitter. You can follow Kevin at K Tompkins with an S, Tompkins II.
There it is. Yes.
Finally. Yes. Erica is over at America with a K 108. I am at Stacy_Perez83. Jim, you didn't put your Twitter handle on your.
I'm not an analyst. I'm just on here. I make graphics. I draft teams. I come up with ideas.
Well, if you want to meet Jim, you're going to have to come to Vegas then to do it, or unless you're in California. But again, making your podcast debut, how do you feel?
Awkward at times, but it was a blast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it was great. Thank you for coming on.
Can I toss out one more thing before we go?
Go for it.
On my pinned on my Twitter at KTompkinsII, pros versus Joes. Go if you want to do a team with me. We don't have to go 0 RB. I will say that on the record. But go donate and sign up if you want to draft a team with me in a couple weeks before the season starts. Always a lot of fun. Always a lot of great analysts that we will be in the same league with the Joes that they have that donate to their causes. Fantastic. And come draft a team with me.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, again, remember, we will be back next week, 8 o'clock live with the streaming of the Vampire League. Until then, have a great weekend.